Many of us see it all the time. Drivers who don't do the best job when parking their cars. Usually, most of the time, the parker walks off unaffected whilst the other drivers in the area deal with the repercussions. But in this video, the tables have turned. Join us as we check out times that people took revenge on bad parkers, Part 3. This illegal parking mistake results in these parkers paying the ultimate price by suffering a total loss on their cars. This parker likely saw no issues parking directly behind this truck driver. But I'm sure when they return, they'll soon recognize that the driver didn't share the same opinion. A man who swiftly took another person's parking space before they could ends up realizing he might have just messed with the wrong driver. A person who took up 2 parking spaces at their residence ends up with a bunch of snow shoveled onto his car. That's a pretty cold way to handle things. Another parker didn't appreciate being blocked off by parallel parkers. He resorted to escaping by any means necessary. This guy seems to be following the same example as the last 2. And yet another man has the same idea. But unlucky for him, this time things don't turn out as planned. Up next, we see what happens when a man notices another man parking in a handicapped spot without actually being handicapped. The parker returns to a rather tedious situation. A group of men dealing with the same situation decide to spray paint handicapped signals on the parkers' cars. Luckily for the unauthorized parkers, the spray paint isn't permanent and can be washed off with water. A woman parked in a restricted area and then ended up getting her ability to drive her car restricted when a group of men blocked her car off with cement blocks. This clip shows a McLaren parked in a restricted area being forced open and towed away by the cops. Unfortunately, fancy cars don't get any special treatment when it comes to the police. These guys wanted to play basketball, but a parked SUV was in the way. The boys took it upon themselves to use the vehicle to practice their slam dunks. A resident of Ohio repeatedly told this parker to refrain from parking on his property. The parker's failure to comply led the resident to take extreme measures. Here we see another individual deal with the karma of blocking another resident's driveway. The resident blocks the parker with a tree stump and an unpleasant note. Luckily, this man didn't get as severe of a punishment as the previous. I guess it's safe to say this man felt the parking of the other driver didn't make the cut. This video shows the importance of remembering to never block a fire hydrant. Failing to do so might just land you a few broken windows. Although we can't consider this revenge. A firefighter has got to do his job. The last video showed why to never park in front of a hydrant, and this video shows why to never park in front of a dumpster. After a garbage truck does its job, the car left near it is covered in trash. Lesson learned. So far in this video, we've seen people who parked poorly. But next, we see someone who didn't park at all. A man steps out of his vehicle without putting it in park. And you can already imagine how things turn out. When there's no tow trucks or forklifts around to use, an excavator came in quite handy to a man who needed to get these vehicles parked in the way out of the way. Unfortunately for the car owners, things got a little rocky. We're close to wrapping this collection of bad parking karma clips up, but before we head out, we've put together some bonus clips and pictures of what might be some of the most ridiculous events that have taken place as a result of bad parking. Let us know which clips and/or pictures that stood out to you the most, and we'll catch you in the next one. Until next time.